just for those of you that are currently watching, and I'll put this in the chat for those that are kind of trickling in, but if anyone has any questions for you, I guess they can put them in the chat and you'll get to them at like throughout the duration of the presentation. Okay, perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
So if anyone has any questions, there's a session chat. So if you want to put your question in the session chat, I'm sure you guys love having questions. And we'll put in links to your website, and I see you've already done that as we go through the event as well. So Holly, maybe we'll start with you. So maybe just do a quick intro of your role at Ontario Screens. I just want to mention before we do that though, this is like an amazing organization. So I've worked with Holly, I don't know for how many years. And we've had a great connection, and I've learned a lot about Ontario Screen Systems. So seems like a fantastic, place to be. Your colleagues have been nothing but amazing. So I just wanted to say that before we start. So what a great place to work. So let's chat a little bit about you. So what's your background and what's your role with Ontario Screens?
Sure thing. Well, I'm Holly Atfield, and I'm a vice president at Ontario Screen Systems. One of the areas that I cover is human resources. So I take care of recruiting and all the other HR functions. I have been with Ontario Screen Systems since 2005. And so that's one of the primary things that I do every year at this time of year is we look to add new installers to our ranks to help our team install phantom screens. So they're retractable screen doors that roll up when you're not using them, and they're manual and motorized. So we're looking for people to help us bring this new sort of technology that replaces a traditional framed screen door to our homeowners throughout the GTA.
Amazing, amazing. And Mark, maybe you want to give a little bit of a background about yourself.
Sure. I've been with Ontario Screens since 2000. I am the field operations manager. I started out as an installer and have worked up to looking after and training all the installers. So yeah, I've been here 21 years, and we are working from our showroom. I'm on site in our showroom right now, so we're being properly with our masks on, and that Amanda is filming me right now.
Hello.
Amazing. Hi, Amanda. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Awesome. And then Kavanaugh will I think, oh, you're unmuted. Awesome. Okay, so just a quick little intro, and then I will leave you guys to it.
No worries. Hi, everybody. I'm Kavanaugh Williams. I'm the customer experience manager. I help with training on the CRM and also managing customer experience. So I interact with all of the installers and all the field staff to make sure they're making my customers happy.
That's great. You guys seem like you guys have all been there for a very long time, which is telling of what an organization it is to work for. So I will leave you guys to it, and I'll be back towards the end. But again, if anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat, and I'm sure they'll be happy to answer them for you. So I will be back, and thanks so much to you guys for being here.
Thank you, Rachel.
It's a pleasure.
Hi, everyone. So Rachel gave us a bit of an intro, and it's always fantastic to work with torontojobs.ca and to work with Rachel. We've used their career fairs for a number of years, as she mentioned, to recruit for installers. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about Ontario Screen Systems, and then I'm going to give the floor to Mark to talk through a little bit more visually about what our retractable screen doors are and what the role is of an installer. So as Ontario Screen Systems, you may know us in the marketplace using the brand of our product that we represent, which is Phantom Screens. And we are the Ontario distributor of Phantom Screens products. So any Phantom Screen anywhere in the province of Ontario has in some way, shape, or form come from us. Now we are not a manufacturer, we are a distributor. And so in addition to distributing screens to dealers in kind of the more remote parts of Ontario, we sell and install screens directly to the consumer everywhere from all the way out to Windsor to the west, right up to Innisfil, and then out to the east to about Clarington. So it's a very large area. As a result, we are always looking for new installers. At this point in time, we are looking for installers primarily in a couple of geographic areas, Toronto, Mississauga, Milton, or the surrounding area around Milton, Oakville, Georgetown, Markham, Richmond Hill area, as well as east. So Whitby, Oshawa, Ajax area. Those are the primary places where we are looking for installers right now. And the importance of geography really hinges upon the fact that our installers drive a company vehicle, they take that vehicle home, and we strive to make their schedules so that their starting point at home is logical in the route that they're traveling for the installs that they're doing. We are looking for candidates with a valid G driver's license. That's crucial. So it's not something that we can compromise. We are also looking for candidates with a good knowledge of the geography of the GTA, comfort level working with tools, a good understanding of the imperial system of measurement, which is inches and fractions of an inch, a good command of written, spoken, and English language, and as well, our chosen candidates will have to undergo a criminal background check. So those are the critical things you need to know about the role. I'll let Mark take over from here to talk more about what is a retractable screen installer and what do they do. Okay,
Great.
thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Holly. Thanks. One other thing I just want to mention, Holly, about our company, Ontario Screens. We just celebrated our 27th anniversary, and our birthday is actually on Valentine's Day, so this is a product of love.
Thanks, Mark.
So, yeah, no problem, Holly. Okay, so just to show what a phantom screen does, it's basically, it's a retractable screen we put on people's front doors, their back doors, double doors, patio sliding doors. And here's an example of someone's front door that they have here with a side light on it. And when the door opens, you want to have fresh air. The whole thing with the phantom screen is it is a retractable screen. It retracts back. It's only used when you want to use it. So here is the screen right on the door, and it pulls across so and clicks in place like that. So as an installer, your job will be, one, to understand the concepts of the door, brick bolts, different things like that, where the door is going to be put on. Our doors are pre-measured. They're made here. They're made at the factory in Abbotsford, and we have the supply here. So you go out with a door that is supplied for your door. You have to put the housing on. There's screws at top and bottom. There's a sill adapter that goes along the bottom here. There's different types of sill adapters that have to go because we have to adapt our door to make it work on everyone's door frames. So there's many different door frames, so we have different adapters that work. That will all be pre-chosen for you. And you have to use a drill, be able to drill, put the bottom track on and a track here and a track at the top that goes on it. Tools that you will be using for this is a cordless drill, which you'll be able to use. And as Holly mentioned, a tape measure in the imperial, feet and inches, and be able to take fractions because we do work to the 1/8 of an inch. And you'll have to use a hacksaw because you do have to cut the sills and the tracks, and it's just cut with a hacksaw. And that's basically the tools that you will be using on a door. So this is a single door system. We do also for windows, we do motorized, but this being an introductory job, you are looking at basically installing doors and then I can take you and show you what a double door is. We are in our showroom here. So if you'll follow me over, Amanda. So this is what a double door system is, a French door. There are two doors that open like so. On this case, you will be installing two doors. Yeah. So one door will come across and clicks in place like that. And then this door comes across, clicks together. Now they have the fresh air through. Again, there's a track put at the top, a sill adapter on the bottom, and tracks involved, and the door screen itself put on there. The one thing just about a phantom screen, the screens are not attached all the way around. There's extra mesh inside so they can release and come through the top and the bottom, and they retract back in. So as an installer, that's basically your critical things to be able to put the doors on the frame and install and use the tools. When I was speaking about windows, maybe Amanda, you can come around this way through. So we also do screens for windows. It's basically the same system. It's a unit that goes at the top and tracks down the sides, and this is a retractable screen that retracts up that way. So these are going to be the basic things that you will be doing as an installer. Another factor that when Holly was mentioning about a driver's license and that, you will have to use a tablet that our system is done through a Bonigo system where all your bills and everything is collected and your instructions are given on an iPad or a cell phone, and all this is provided with you. I don't know if, Holly, if there's anything else you want to add to this or anything else you think I should point out.
Well, we could talk a little bit about the position. So the position is, it starts as a seasonal position. So we're looking to hire candidates who are available to start in March. So it is something that's going to be available relatively soon. We would be starting brand new installers at approximately $17 per hour. And now that is can be variable, commensurate with experience. We would be looking to offer starting candidates a position that runs from March through October. It would be a full-time role at 40 hours a week. It also includes their, it includes their vehicle. The training is paid. It includes their cell phone or tablet and all of their tools provided. And so for the installer, they would be coming into the Mississauga office roughly 3 times per week to drop off completions and to pick up materials for their schedule for the following couple of days. And then they would be in a position to be able to have the vehicle at their home overnight, so that on the days they're not driving into the office, we're looking at setting their schedule up so that it begins and ends at their home. I'm just trying to think of what else we might want to tell potential candidates about the role.
Potentially, for a candidate, you are working alone. 99% of the time you are on your own. So you don't have a helper with you. So you're responsible for clean appearance. You get a shirt, a phantom shirt supplied for you. There's certain etiquette you have to do at people's houses and that. So because you are on your own, you are representing the company, and you have to know all the rules that way with that.
Great, thanks, Mark. So keeping in mind that the position we're in right now with the pandemic, we have our COVID protocols. So at present, for training and as well until things change within the Golden Horseshoe, we're at present only doing installations that can be performed from the exterior of the home. So for example, if the homeowner's door is an in-swing door that swings inward into the home, we're mounting the screen on the exterior of the home. We can perform all of that work without stepping inside their home. As things progress, we will likely move on to being able to perform work inside the customer's home with complete COVID protocols. So our scheduling team sets everything up in advance with the homeowner and ensures that the homeowner is in a safe position to have us come to their home, and that they are either going to stay out of the room or going to wear a mask. They're going to remain socially distant, and our installers are all provided with masks and hand sanitizer and sanitizing wipes. And we're doing everything according to COVID protocols, so that keeps both our customers as well as our employees safe.
Correct. And all your jobs that you are doing during the day will be pre-booked for you. We have a scheduling team that gives you your route. You pick up your routes. It's on your tablets or your phone, and you'll know exactly where to go within a time frame. And like we were saying, you just have to be responsible to be able to communicate with the customer if there's ever any need to communicate, and look after everything in a good manner.
Mark, I have a question in the chat. Somebody's asking, how do you address installations on a second story?
Well, most, like on second stories, a lot of our jobs, they do And now I'm not sure if you're defining it as a COVID thing. Right now, we're not going up to people's second floors because we have to go through the house. But most installations on a second floor, the doors lead out onto a deck, so there you do have somewhere to work in that. We don't have too many doors that are hanging out over top, and I can get into that. There's a door called a Juliet balcony that has a railing in front of it, and we have to work, but it would be work from the inside. But those are more advanced ones that you can get into through training and more experience.
Right. So a first-year installer would be. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I hope that explains, because I wasn't sure if it was, because with the COVID, we're not going second floors or any condominium right now. The protocol counts. Yeah.
Yeah, a first-year installer is very likely to see single doors, double doors, possibly sliding doors as they work their way through more complicated installs. We do have a level of rating types of doors so that when the scheduler is looking at it, they know the skill set they're looking for in an installer. And so a first-year installer wouldn't be looking at doing something like a Juliet balcony. It's quite complex. But at present, we are not going into condo or apartment buildings, and we are not presently going into customers' homes. So if someone has a second floor bedroom with a balcony that they'd like a screen on, then that's something that does have to wait until protocols change in the province to a situation where we feel it's comfortable for our employees to go back into customers' homes. And for the most part, it's really not been a problem. Customers are very understanding of the COVID protocols and what the installers can and can't do at this point in time. And most of the time, they're very cooperative. So if they say, you know, come and do our install, we will wear a mask and stay socially distant, they mean it. It's the truth, and it tends to work quite well. Okay. Any other questions in the chat that we need to answer? I know there are a few people looking to set up meetings, which is something that we'll do after we get off the stage here. Something that we're happy to do. A little bit about, I guess, our team. We have a number of installers who have worked for us for a number of years. We've got a few installers on staff that have been with us since 2005. We've got one installer who I think's been with us. Ken's been with us since around the same time as you, Mark, around 2000.
2001,
yeah.
Yep.
And we've got a few from 2007. So we've got a number of installers who've been with us for a serious length of time. In the case of installers, I find that many of them enjoy the lifestyle of having the winter off. So they will come start with us in February or March, work through to October, sometimes November, depending on availability, and take those few months off in the winter. Some of them do find alternate employment for the short term. This year was a little bit unusual, but many times there are retail jobs available, snow plowing jobs available, Canada Post related jobs available over the winter period, or some of our installers are able to not work over the winter period. And for installers who do well in their first year, they would be leaving in October or possibly later if there's more work with a return contract for the following year. So they know what their start date is, what their rate of pay is, what type of role and when they are coming back the next season. So there is the potential for some candidates to move into a role that is more senior, particularly if they catch on well and are looking at doing more complex installs. And then we also have motorized screens, which really is not something a first-year installer is going to see. But motorized screens are a much more complex and a team-based installation. And that's a fun and interesting product. So as the installer becomes more experienced, the potential to work with motorized screens exists, and as does the opportunity to move into a sales-related role, all of which give the employee a bit more of a challenge, a little bit more fun, an opportunity to earn more money. And for all of our staff, there can be bonuses based on performance. And I think Mark's moved over to award the motorized screen, so we'll just take a quick look at that.
Got one going here up and down. These These are for the outdoor patio areas that can be done for sun screening, for insects. We can go up to 40 feet wide with a single screen, up to 16 feet in height. But like Holly was saying, these are more advanced installers that do these jobs, but everyone has a potential to get up into that. And we have large, like if you saw how the doors go, the ones that go side to side, we do have larger ones that can go up to 10 feet high and 12 feet wide with a single unit pulling across. And if a double, it can go 24 feet wide. They just come like that all the way across. And that's our large wall screen.
So the oversized door screen, the wall screen that Mark is just showing again, is a more complex install, and often a 2-person install. So that may be something that a second-year installer will start working toward, being the second person on an install job like that. But as I mentioned, we've got a lot of really great retention of our installers, and so those with experience often are going to be the lead on a job such as an oversized door screen or a motorized screen.
Great.
So there's a question in the chat. Someone has asked, aside from having a valid Class G driver's license, do you need to have access to a vehicle as well? For an installer, if they've got a valid Class G license, but they don't have a vehicle, that is absolutely something they can work with. I guess the thing to keep in mind is on their training days before they're assigned a vehicle. So probably for the first 2 weeks of work, they would be either coming into the office, to the warehouse area, or traveling usually with another installer. Right now, we're not putting more than one person in a vehicle. But outside of that, a person without a vehicle would have to get themselves to our office in some way, shape, or form. So have a friend or family member drop them off, or take public transit. And then once they are fully trained and up and running, then they don't need to worry about having their own vehicle. And then at the end of their contract, they would have to obviously have a ride home after they drop their vehicle off at the end of the season. But outside of that, no, there's not a need for them to have their own personal vehicle. If they are an installer and they have a valid G license and they're hired, once they're trained and in a vehicle, then they don't need to have their own vehicle. Okay, so I hope that answers that for Tina. Okay, any other questions? Okay, it's my expectation that Rachel will be popping back in here momentarily. Look,
there I am.
Is that timing?
I
said my expectation Rachel would be back, and here she is.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for that. I need these screens on I have a terrace that needs these screens, so I'm probably going to be reaching out to you soon. But we want to first thank Mark for your fantastic demos. That was great. I didn't realize the extent of your product, so that was it was a good way to show people, exactly. I think you have a question in here too, Holly. Maybe if you want to address that after.
A question about new Canadians. We absolutely have employed new Canadians in the past. So I certainly he would absolutely be in a position to be able to apply if he has a valid G Ontario driver's license, or will be getting one soon. I know that. The ability to get an Ontario G license varies depending on where the new Canadian has come from and what type of license they had from what length of time. For what length of time, it varies from country to country. But we do need a full G, and if they're new Canadians, they absolutely are welcome to apply. I would say that a new Canadian does have a disadvantage where their knowledge of the Greater Toronto Area probably may not be as solid, but I absolutely welcome the opportunity for them to apply, and certainly have hired new Canadians through Toronto Jobs and through other means in past seasons.
Perfect.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Elizabeth.
Awesome. So sorry, go ahead.
Driver's licenses, I'm not sure the protocol is that they are doing license testing now because of the protocol of people in the vehicles. I'm not sure what for licensing what the ministry is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And again, I know it does. Some new Canadians can just apply for a license and get it right away, and they have a G. Others have to get a G1 or a G2 and then go through a certain process before they're allowed to have a G. But for our purposes and for our insurance, we need a G. So yeah, I'm thinking that they would just have to investigate what that process is. And I know there are closures right now, and there are things put in place to allow licenses that aren't quite, that are expired, or they can't renew them. They allow you to continue driving. So that's something that the candidate would have to investigate.
Okay, perfect. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, maybe you guys can put your contact information, just because I know it's further up, but maybe just as we close
I'll put it in again.
yeah, the link to your website or some contact information. So if people have questions or they want to apply, it makes it a little easier for them. But I just want to say thanks to Ontario Screens for being here. You guys are amazing. Definitely check out their website. You know, if you're interested in the role, I'm sure they'll put some information on applying. And thanks for everyone for being here. And our next session will start at right now, 3 o'clock
Okay.
with Metrolink.
Thanks,
Thanks so much, guys, for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for attending. Bye, everyone.